Here we go. So that video is now uploading whilst we're talking. Look at this vine. They just go everywhere. There's just no stopping them. Bloody. But I'm gonna. This is the mulberry tree. It's getting pretty big. And look, you can see little baby mulberries. Look. Believe me, it's a mulberry. And you eat them. But it weeps. And it's got lots of stems. And you can't cut them after they get to a certain size, otherwise they continue to weep. There you go, look, some baby ones. And this is a peach. That was like a mail order bride. Bought this by post. And this is a plum. Now if you're incredibly cute, you might say, hang on, this is a peach and that's a plum, because I can't quite remember. But what I do know is that this one used to be here. And the first thing that happened was I chopped it down. Or I chopped a bit of it down. But this was the original. And then it just grew in a separate stalk. But this is a silk floss tree, or a floss silk tree. Famous for being cute and fluffy. That is about it's got to be about 6 inches wide at its base. That is about 3 years old. The first thing it did when I brought it home was die, which is a lot of plants do, but it didn't help by the fact that I'd kept it in my car while I went to the beach, and it just baked and it wilted down. I thought, oh, that's obviously like really sensitive, because it's tropical, really sensitive tropical plant. And the thing is, it's just probably one of the fastest growing plants on the planet. I mean, that is 2 to 3 years of growth. This is year 3. And the first year it pretty much died away. The top wilted off, and it came up with another little shoot, and you just can't see it. I mean, these ones, look at that. This is our favourite. That's cherries. It grew up to about this high, about there, and just died. This is good. This is olive. Now, as you can see, the Dutchman's horn's dead. The wisteria is doing okay. And there's at least some blueberries struggling along. Blueberry. Blueberry. Christmas palms. The olive hasn't got any olives on it yet. Little queen palm. I like to talk to myself in the back garden because it's least likely for me to be spotted and called a lunatic. But there's an orange tree. This is replacing my grapefruit tree, which I've been cutting down bit by bit. That's a big hollow. I sort of got this foamy stuff to keep the ants out. And it's probably working okay. But as you can see, there's more and more dead branches on it. And the whole thing is going to need to be cut down. It's not so much of a risk anymore, but if you look at it, it's pretty much set to fall on the house, but there's not enough left of it anymore. That branch over there, if it fell, would have fallen on my fencing over there. But I should be able to follow this as it dies, cut off all the dead bits as it dies. But this is my favourite bit of all, I think. It's the riot of pineapples. And as you can see here, got this little pineapple, having a fantastic time. But they sort of split up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But when they grow, they split up. This one grew and that's got 2 spiky bits. And up there, you can just maybe see where the sloth lives. So there's a sloth, or it's basically like a really stupid cat. It's got this big tail that it uses to climb up things. It's either a sloth or a possum, I can never remember. And it's got clawy hands and a brain made of cat crap. I mean, it's slow. Even when they walk, they wobble. But it lives up there, and it climbs up there. So I had to reinforce my grapevine. I don't mind if they live up there, you know. I mean, it's like they live there, the cats live there, the mice live there, and then I visit every now and then, you know. And it's their house. I'm the oh, it's not paternalistic, not humanitarianistic. It's this word where people are so rich they can afford to support, you know, not noble causes but civil causes. There's a word for it. A lot of the Victorian times they would create new housing estates and they were known to be philanthropic or philanthropists or philanthropists or something. Anyway, I maintain the house so that the sloths, the cats and the mice can have a nice little place to live. And they do. The mice run around like it's nobody's business. And you know, I mean, I'm sure they are quite happy when I'm not around to give me a bit of space. Like they don't sleep in my bed when I'm here, you know, and the cats don't, and the sloth doesn't. He's probably up there asleep. I went up there once because he destroys all the widdly bits. You can sort of see just there. He sort of gets into the skirting down there, but he's over there. He's over on that side. And I saw some little baby ones, and they're only really small. You can see how far behind I am, because look, I've not even fed the birds yet. The birds must be thinking, what a loser, you know? You come all this way and you haven't fed us yet. I mean, it only cost about $16 for a bag of bird seed. You know, what am I? A philanthropist? And this is dark. Orange tree. Oranges. As you can see, I'm having a lot more success concealing my property on this side. There's my little office. Can't see a thing. There's the toilet. That's the lav. And that's my bedroom. I'm going to upload this one now, and then there's a bottle of plum. Can't see it, it's all dark now. I'm going to upload this one. God, this is so much fun. Oh, remember, if you want to marry me, you just like send an email, care of your local government, police, state department, saying I want to do something perhaps that is sort of like not ordained by the powers that be, you know, as you would in a free world or something like that, you know, where people sort of don't just do what they're told. The thing is, people don't realise they're doing what they're told. They're so subconsciously unaware of that they're doing what they're told. Even they'll believe that they are demonstrating and exhibiting free will, but they're not, because they don't understand what free will is. They'll sort of get up and today I feel like doing this. And what they don't understand is it's the powers that be that have given them that, not instinct, that sudden impulse to I feel like doing this today. You'll see it in adverts for iPhones. What do you feel like doing today? But all these prompts, if people thought strategically in advance and then said, well, what do I want to do? They would realise that there is no such thing as freedom in the modern world. It's all controlled and engineered, because people are assets, you see. Essentially people are assets, and they're owned. Everyone's owned like property. You go anywhere pretty much in the developed world, every ounce of land is owned by someone. This land is owned by me, subject to the laws of this nation, the United States of America. But similarly to all the land, every person is owned. They just don't realise it. They are owned by a combination, an abstract combination of their immediate environment, their family, their social environment, their schooling environment, educational environment, their upbringing, and their employment. When you take all these things into combination, there is a hierarchy of ownership, and people are just not aware of it. You know, if you suddenly got up and thought, God, you know, I'm going to take all my possessions and I'm going to go and live somewhere completely different for absolutely no reason whatsoever, you would find that a lot of people would say, oh, you can't do that, you know, what about this or what about that, and all these reasons will say, oh well, you wouldn't want to upset your friends, you know, but I mean, there's no such thing as friends. Well, that's all a bit beside the point. It's all situationally of that moment. And the most important moments of anyone's life, pretty much what I call the formative years, when you're between, say, 14 and 30. That's when the governments put as much control as they can into engineering people. Once you get to 30, most people are in a relationship, they're in a career, they're in a lifestyle and a pattern and a process and a flow from A to B that they're never going to leave. Most people are married by that time, you know, and most attractive women are gone by that time. As long as they can control those singular process, those 16 years, mainly through college, education and through youth employment, they control everything, because people don't ever get out of that chain. They become sleepers in a residential community. They might move up the rung, up the ladder. They might move, you know, 3 or 4 streets down the road. Some people move a little more, but the whole idea of complete freedom is actually, at the end of the day, non-existent. They will have enough examples of people that have done strange things, you know, enough people that, oh, I used to live in this town and then I moved over to this town and then I moved over to this town. If people do that, then most of the time they might move once or twice from Chicago to Washington. They might, but basically people are not transient, and the society is not geared up to be like that. And basically it all comes down to the fact that people are owned. They can't have people being transient unless you are a transient, or you are, you know, actually categorized in that sort of pool of sort of people. And most of the time that's the case, because it suits their requirements. No one wants them. Unemployable, unwanted, and they get shifted around from place to place. But you know, there's no fixed rules, but everyone is owned, and the concept of freedom is essentially a myth. And I mean, you can, as far as I'm concerned, demonstrate and prove this by the fact that I've been having this website for nearly 20 years. Well, I've been single for over 20 years. I mean, I don't know how long I had this website now, but I had websites before I had this website. I had what you used to call Lover's Lane, Microsoft MSN Lover's Lane or something, like in 1998. And that was the first thing I did. The first thing I did when I got onto the internet was create a Who Wants to Marry Me page on MSN sites. And basically, there's a reason why no one has ever got in touch with me, and it's not because I'm stupid. We've got this global reach, the whole world, and someone who is intrinsically as awesome as I am. It doesn't make any sense. People are conditioned, and they don't understand that they're conditioned. They can't just sort of say, oh, you know what I really want to do? I'm going to go and marry that Mr. Cute bloke, and I'm going to go and live in Florida. I'm going to go and sit on the beach every day, because that sounds like a really hard time to me. You know, I mean, it's, and if that's not your cup of tea, you can come and live in England. Or if that's not your cup of tea, you can come and live in Amsterdam. You know, I mean, so, I mean, what I was just trying to end up on there was, if you want to marry me, you've got to be cute and yummy, but all you've got to do is send the email, make the phone call. But the most difficult thing is you've got to pass your state police Stasi styled owners to allow you to make a life choice, to move out of whatever social ecosystem structure that you happen to be in, to make that sort of change. And they won't let you do that. They're not going to let you do that. There's lots of reasons, which I'll get onto in another video. I'm going to end this one. I'm going to start another one. I'm on a roll.